Hello everyone, welcome back to another review for the TheH0RR0Rman's Sladhback challenge. And the theme that Joe the TheH0RR0Man has set for this week is titled Killer Kids. And the film I chose to review this week is named Devil Times 5. Now this film was originally released back in 1974, and this one centers around a group of adults that are spending time at this cabin, and they end up encountering a group of five psychotic children. They're on this van that crashes in the mountains, and somehow they make their way to their cabin. And of course, since they're children, they take them in because they're planning on making sure they're going to be okay until they can get back to town. The only problem is the kids know once they get back to town, they'll be found out and they'll be sent back to the mental institution. So they're not having any of that, and the mayhem ensues. This is a really interesting film for me. Like, I'm really curious of what this film would have been had this film been produced in the 80s. Because I've noticed, one thing I've noticed with a lot of the 70s horror films, and even in the early 80s, is that the casts for these films tend to skew older. Like, it wasn't until after Friday the 13th that they started going with younger casts for these films. Because this film would have really easily have been like a group of teens partying at a cabin, and then they'd encounter the kids. And that's probably what this film should have been, because the whole reasoning for the adults to be in the cabin was kind of convoluted. Essentially, we have like three sets of couples, and it's headed up by the main person who owns the cabin, and he goes by the name of Papa Doc. And then he has like a trophy wife, and then his daughter is also along for the ride, and she's brought her boyfriend. And the whole idea between this is she wants her boyfriend to join the family business, but he really just wants to have fun. And then we have another character, another couple, like it's a doctor and his wife. The doctor, even though he's a doctor, he wants a raise and a promotion. And his wife is an alcoholic because I think she's doesn't believe in her husband anymore and sees him as being kind of a loser. So it's kind of like this weird drama thing going on. And pretty much the scenes before the kids get there is them arguing and stuff. And another weird thing about the film is that Papa Doc's wife had a relationship with his daughter's boyfriend at one time, and she really, her whole motivation is to get laid by anybody other than her husband. Like the first scene we see with her in it proper, she's trying to get it on with the mentally challenged handyman, and then this ends up getting broken up by her daughter, her stepdaughter, and then it leads to this funky, awkwardly filmed cat fight, which was kind of entertaining in its own way. This is such an odd film. Now the kids are pretty good across the board. There's like 3 female kids and 2 male kids. The main 2, well actually, the best of the child actors is Leif Garrett, and he's actually his mother is also in the film, and she's the one that plays Papa John's wife, which I thought was kind of interesting because she's the one that gets naked the most in the movie. The daughter gets naked, but it's in a weird, awkward scene, an awkward love scene that really didn't make any sense. It was shot really poorly. This film probably should have been more disturbing than it was, but the problem was that most of the kill scenes were filmed really poorly as well. Now, they tried to do something different with each kid. Like they gave them each their own thing. Like the one girl dresses up as a nun the whole time. The other girl likes to play at fire. Leif Garrett's character likes to dress up, but there was a reason for that. And then we have the little youngest girl, and then we have a little African American boy, and his whole thing is playing to be a soldier. So he's dressed up in army fatigues, and he's got his name tag and a fake gun. Now, with Leif Garrett's character, he was the best actor amongst the kids. But the problem with him was they had finished the film, and then they'd gone back to do reshoots. But on the other film he made after it, they shaved his head. So his hairstyle is changing from scene to scene. It really threw me off at first because at one point I see him, he's got long hair, and the next point his hair is shaved. I thought he was a 6th kid. I'm thinking, who's this kid? I thought they actually switched actors halfway through it or something like that. But they explained that in the special features and stuff. And one of the ways they got around it is they decided that he was going to play dress up. So they had him put on different wigs throughout the film, and they have him dress up as a girl at one point, just to try to cover up their continuity errors, but it was too noticeable. It really almost took me out of the movie. I was really confused about that. Um, Now, the actress that played Lovely is actually the mother of two of the kids. Her name is Carolyn Stellar, and she's the mother of Leif Garrett and the youngest child, which her name is Dawn Lynn. So she was the mother of both of them, which was kind of weird because her death scene involves her youngest child, and she plays the death scene in the nude, which I was really surprised about. I'm surprised that she was okay with that. Well, at least it wasn't her son, I guess. There was always that. Um, this is an entertaining film. I did enjoy it, but I felt I would have enjoyed it more if I watched it with my friends. And that's what you should do if you decide to watch this movie. It's really entertaining. It also goes by different names. And the special features on this DVD, they keep referring to the film as the People Toys. But when you first start the film, a third title pops up, and that's called Horrible House on the Hill. For me, my favorite, though, was Devil Times 5. It's such a cool, kick-ass title. I just wish the film was as gruesome as its title. Um, the kids were okay. They were really good at acting like kids, and it's kind of fun. All right, so that's my review for Devil Times 5. And the YouTuber I'll be giving a shout out to this week is Hey Internet, it's Eric. And his link will be in the description box. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you all later.